Welcome to San Diego Market Movers. I have one of my favorite guests here with me today, Barbie. Welcome, Barbie.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's so good to have you.
Oh man, I love coming on. This is such a great opportunity. I love to share with my audience, with my friends, my clients, people that I work with, or maybe someone who's considering working with me, because one of the things I really strive for is to earn people's trust, right?
Well, that's why we love having you here.
Oh,
And we were
thanks.
just chatting because California is such an expensive place to live. It's so beautiful. I mean, sunshine tax.
Yes.
But I know that you feel super empowered to educate people because you know a lot about getting creative to build and on ways to build wealth, because there's not just one way to build wealth, there's multiple ways.
Yeah.
And so today we were talking about how to build wealth through real estate.
Right.
You know a lot about that.
Oh,
Tell me a little bit more about how you're helping your clients build wealth for themselves and their families.
So one of the things, if you know me, I am a firm believer in the dream of home ownership, and it is an excellent way to leverage and create and build wealth. And as a mom, as well, with three kids, this is something that I think about. I have different generations, different age brackets, right? One in college, almost done, one in high school, going to college, and another one on his way. And I think about the cost of living, and I think about when I was starting, how I was able to build wealth, and what were some of the words of advice that I received. And one of them was buy a house, home ownership. It's so important. But one of the biggest challenges that our younger generation is having, that is coming up the ranks, is how to afford and buy a house in the state of California.
Yeah.
What kind of job do you have to have? How much money do you need to make? And then also from the other side, looking at, I'm a huge, you'll learn as I like to talk about the market and different ways to build wealth or strategies for real estate. One of the things you'll find about me is that I'm a huge family person. I'm all about experiences. I'm all about growing, and I kind of look down the future and what it is I want to see. And one of the things that I think is so important for many families is, when you've got kids coming up, is how can I, it's a thing. I talk about it with my best friend. How can I keep my kids in the state of California and accustomed to the cost of living here? California, there's lots of different opinions of thought, but there's a lot of many wonderful things about the state of California. And you talk about, building wealth. One of the things, that I like to share with my clients is how can you leverage that? And one of the unique things that we have in San Diego County is we can build attached dwelling units, right? We're not restricted to that, and so a lot of that can be done with the help of your parents, right? Yeah, kind of am wrapping that in there, right? So one of the things that I think is important to educate clients about is how do we do that, right? And there are many different kinds of strategies that we can do that to help our kids, right? We might be a person who's getting close to, working less, right? We may have lots of equity in our home, and we might be able to use some of that equity to help our children either buy another house or build an ADU on the property. And I like to introduce that is something that's coming up that we're probably going to be talking about and hosting a seminar on. It's called, I get a little leery to use this word, but it's something we all should really be thinking about, because building wealth does go hand in hand with retirement, right? So retirement in reverse. What does that look like? And one of the things I'd like to, we're talking about maybe in sometime mid-June, is I would like to invite all my clients, family, friends, to this event where we're going to talk about how can you leverage this, right? You could leverage this to keep your you could have your kids live on the property with you. You could move to the ADU because maybe you as a parent need what's called right size, right? So you can use this money to right size into the ADU and maybe let the kids work there, right?
Yeah.
You can also build an ADU and rent it out for income into retirement.
There sounds like there's so many options that I think a lot of people are not aware of. And especially if that's a burden on their shoulders of really wanting to provide that for their children.
Yes.
You are putting this workshop seminar together for people to really teach them what you've learned. And if you're interested in learning more about just building wealth for your family yourself, or in joining that seminar and learning something, reach out to Barbie and she will let you know all the details that there are to know about that seminar. And thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Awesome.
Perfect.